making magic together. The concept of a witch's Sabbath originates how there was hatred for faiths that were not Christian. And they presumed their holidays were blasphemy of their days. As much as many call themselves witch, there were not only much fewer actual witches, but it was more the other way around. The Christians tended to ignore the biblical commands to have the Sabbath from Friday sunset till Saturday sundown, preferring Sunday instead. The moon is a basis for a month, the observation of weeks, and holidays that were based around natural occurrences in the solar year. Thus, with exception of the solstices and equinoxes, the witches were said to have black masses opposed to the Christian holidays that were typically in the week before the cross quarter. The season of Samhain, or summer down, did not actually start with Halloween. The season of Imulk, or ewe's milk, did not usually start at Candlemas and never started at February Eve. Beltane, or popularity fire, or shining fire, did not start at May Eve or Walpurgisnacht. Lunasa, or light commemoration, does not usually start at Lammas. Those cross quarters are bright quarter, those cross quarters name the seasons that used to be called winter are the dark quarters, spring are the warming quarter, summer are the bright quarter, and fall are the cooling quarter. As for the solstices in particular, the lore about witches or Satanists usually mirrored the Christian celebrations of these in a slightly off-balance placement in the year, instead of the acknowledgments of the themes of the solar year. The names of the 8th Sabbath in Gaelic are, in order of the Celtic and general Teutonic year, except for, the Norse, who started at Yule. Starting at the cross quarter between the fall equinox and the winter solstice, these are Samhain, Yule, Imulk, Ostra, Yule or wheel, Imulk, Ostra or Eastern, movement towards the rising sun, Beltane, Letha or stopping or standing still of the sun, or standing still of the stone, Lunasa, and Mabon, or mother's son. Madron, or mother, could have been the name of this in ancient times. Now, I recommend turning to my video earlier that's finished uploading it in the middle of the night, about the the art of Lunasa, which is it started last night. Madron, or mother, could have been the name of this, this fall equinox in ancient times. The full moon, the sighting of the waxing crescent, or particular days or stages of the waxing or waning moon might make good times for regular meetings. Others may focus more on particular nights or days of the week. Whenever these gatherings you take part in actually are, whatever these gatherings you usually take part in are, it can be nice to use the symbolism for that hour, day, lunar stage, or portion of the solar year. Such practices can be as simple or complex as you adapt to. But seldom should you plan on doing what you're not adept at. Unless you are practicing or learning. On to LA Witch. Fiona Horne's Guide to Coven Magick. A person might work on meditation, rituals that call for symbolic postures, or items. Astral projection, lucid dreaming triggers, charging rituals, or other things that may involve being physically separated or joined in their regular spiritual services, or those for special occasions. The general purpose of all this is what is called sympathetic or contagious magic, and is to manipulate themselves in the world through likeness. As Al-Quran 39:38 writes, that it is best to trust the creator of the macrocosm and the microcosm instead of worshipping lesser entities in hopes of controlling harm or benefit. Goddess gatherings. Like many open about the fact that they are Satanist, witches take feminism and chauvinism a step further. Whether a god gathering or a goddess gathering, they meet with their own or invite others into their lifestyle. Gatherings of considering oneself a god or goddess. Sometimes this is the hope of becoming one. Instead of worshiping the transcendent God, a witch tends to worship gendered divinities, or the universe itself. No one needs arrogance to realize their potential of knowledge, understanding, power, experience, action, consciousness, or righteousness. Enjoyable food, drink, and entertainment are certainly even more important with people of different beliefs. But wouldn't it be better to find a middle ground in beliefs for meetings with outsiders? Whether or not they use terms like divine children, covens tend to have their own concepts of household gods and divine children. Al-Quran 37, 125 through 126 speaks of how people call on Baal, Lord, Son of Yahweh, or some such in one form or another, in neglect of the more ancient worship of God, which even their ancestors had. Whatever you hold to, don't compromise with what you hold good and true for popularity. Share the love. My faith teaches that women may correct the men present and can have their own groups. In every faith group, there are people who are not religious or are barely political with their faith. Their plays virtually no role in their public life. It may be important to hold formal and informal gatherings. Fiona Horne's informal